Elementor version 3.30 is in beta right now. We can test it out and we see a lot of new features and enhancements to the Elementor version 4 editor. If you want to test along with me during the video, you can download the Elementor Beta Tester plugin, but keep in mind to do so only on staging or testing websites, of course. To do so, you just need to go to the plugins, type Elementor Beta, and just go and download this Developer Edition Elementor Beta. You will see in your installed plugins list the fact that you can update your Elementor Free and Elementor Pro to the current latest beta version. In my case, it is the 3.30. Now, when you update Elementor and you go to the Elementor and Settings tab, you will see the Editor V4 link. And this was already present since the 3.29 version. And basically, if you want to test the new features coming to Elementor V4, you need to go here and you need to activate the new Elementor version 4 experience. And here, I repeat again, use this only on staging and testing websites. Now, in the new Elementor version 3.30, we see a new element here, which is called the YouTube. And all these are the elements that are part of the Elementor version 4. As you can see here, this new video element has some general options that remind us of the old widget, but this widget has nothing to do with the old one because it has been completely refactored from a code point of view. So it's very well optimized and it is created to be accessible and performance focused. This is a very nice addition. Beside the new video element, we also have a new very important improvement, which is all about how the classes are being saved and stored into your website. For example, if you go now here and you select a class for a button or for any other element on your page, you will see that when you go and inspect the code, let's say the button here, the class name will be reflected also in the code. And this was not happening before. There were some randomly generated classes like the one, for example, that we see here. And in this case, it is very important to have the same class that we type inside here and that we choose as a name here also applied to the code directly. So yes, this is a very nice and powerful enhancement. We have also a new enhancement regarding the applied styles and the modified styles. And as you can see here in the groups of styling, for example, in the typography styles, in the border styles, and so on, we see with this new dot here that this group of elements has been modified. Okay, so this is a great indicator. And when we open now the styling tab, we see that we can hover and click on the modified style to see which style is being applied to this specific element and to this specific styling option. So if we have, for example, multiple stylings to the same element, let's say that we have this styling here like this, we can now click here and see which styling is having the priority above the other. In this case, you see the local styling is overriding my button primary class styling. Now there is also another improvement, which is regarding the workflow, and it is all about tabs. In fact, now when you open a tab, let's say that I select this element here, which is a text, a paragraph, and I go and start editing it. Let's go to the styling tab. For example, I go to the spacing, or I go to the size. For example, I say that I want this to be 700 pixels, for example. And when you go and edit stuff and you go and change element, let's say that I go to the video, when you go back to the previous element, let's go that I'm now editing the button and the other button and so on. If I go back now to my text here, I see that the context is preserved, you see? I'm again in my Sites tab with my width. So this can be interesting and useful in many cases, but I was working right now with Elementor version 4 a couple of hours before doing this video, and I found, in my opinion, that this can quickly become overwhelming, with some clutter being generated by all these tabs that are kept open, basically. Now, if I start opening multiple tabs, you see that they are staying open. I do not like very much this behavior here. I would prefer the tabs to close and just to keep one tab open at a time in my case. And I would love to have here a search bar to search for the settings that I want to customize. Because right now we have to open and close all the different tabs, and it can become very overwhelming and a little bit cluttered very quickly. Anyway, let me know if you agree with me about this in the comment section below. And now let's jump to the next features. There are a lot of new little tiny improvements. For example, now if I go into any element and I go to the Style tab and I try to type some values into any of my supported inputs, let's say in the width, I can easily go and type the units right inside my keyboard. For example, if I go here and type 100%, you will see that the percentage is now applied immediately and automatically to my unit type here. If you go and type, for example, let's say 700 pixels, you see that the unit has switched back to pixels. That's a small enhancement, but very appreciated. If you're using a paragraph element, you can see that now when you go in the Style tab and you click on typography, you will see that if you click on show more, you will have a new setting regarding columns. So basically you can distribute the content into different columns. And this is perfect if you want to organize your text in a more creative and flexible way. Now in every version 4 element, we have the support for the ID. You see here you can correctly assign an ID, and this is very important because of course we need it if you want to customize anything about the working of your website. For example, even by just setting up some custom anchor links. For example, in my case, I have assigned an anchor link to a section and it works pretty well. We also have the new ability to assign an anchor link offset. Let me select now this section here. I go to the General tab and I see that I can assign an ID which is connected to my button. And if I go on the Style tab and I go to the position, I can see now that I have my anchor offset. So if I enable this offset and I publish my page, I will see that when I press my button here, you will see that the header in this case would not be overlapping the content, but it will stop 80 pixels before. While if I disable this, let's say that I put it to 0, for example, I will see that if I publish and I reload the page and I try to click on my anchor offset link, the header is going to be overlapping the content. There is also another tiny improvement, which is the fact that now when we hover over any input, we can easily go and clear the values. So if I want to clear this, I click, and this is very convenient, of course. Now, regarding responsive optimizations, I can go and select any element created with the Elementor version 4, and in the Style tab, in the Layout settings, I have now a Display None property, which is pretty useful if you want to optimize the way that elements are displayed in different devices. For example, let's say that when I am on mobile phone, I do not want to display, I don't know, maybe this text here, for example. I go to the Style tab, I open the Layout, and I simply click here on None. And this setting is going to be active only on mobile. If I go back to my tablet, for example, I will see my text back here again. If I go to my mobile view, it's going to look like this. And I can also go and see that there is a new setting regarding the aspect ratio. If you go to the sides and you click on show more, you will see the aspect ratio here and you can apply it immediately as you want. And of course, you will be able to apply aspect ratio to videos and images throughout the whole website. Now, regarding the aspect ratio, we also have the object fit. And if I use together these two settings here, it is pretty awesome because I can achieve any kind of settings for my images and videos. For example, if I choose a different dimensioning for this image, I can easily go to the object fit and I can place it on cover. And I will have a tall image into a mobile portrait style without stretching the image. That's going to be centered and well contained this way. Of course, here you also have all the other elements that you can use. Cover is the one that I love the most. You can also change the object position if you want. You can go top right, for example, or bottom left, and so on. Now, if you're using Elementor Pro, you can easily save an entire website template and reuse it through the cloud, which is very interesting. If you want to test this out, you can go to your website. You go to Elementor Tools, you head to the Import Export item, you can click on Export a Template Kit here, we can save our kit here, we can decide to add this kit to the cloud, we now can open our library, and we will find this new item here called My Cloud Kits that we can use wherever we want to kickstart a new project using the same kit. This is a very powerful feature. Another feature that we have right now is the fact that when an editor or an author tries to access our website and to edit our classes, they cannot do it. They can still modify local classes, but they cannot override or change styling to the classes created by the admins. And to conclude, we also have some new enhancements from the accessibility point of view. We have now some enhanced visual feedback for the icon box and image box elements that now provides proper hover and focus color controls. We have some semantic improvements in the video playlist elements. Now we have a proper semantic markup, portfolio and post elements implement list structures for screen readers, and post navigation includes appropriate rule attributes. This one is also very important, the form accessibility. Now both form and login elements include descriptive area labels, making them more discoverable and usable with assistive technologies. And now one last small improvement, but very nice if you want to experiment with your designs. It has been added to the Advanced tab and it is perfect to experiment designs with images. You can go to the mask, you can enable this, and instead of having just 6 different shapes, you have now 20 different shapes that you can start from. You can choose them here and you can achieve very interesting designs, you see? And of course, as always, you can upload your custom mask if you want. By the way, if you didn't see my previous Elementor version 4 video, I suggest you to go and watch it because there are many new things that you need to discover if you want to get ready, be prepared for the Elementor version 4 release. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you are enjoying also the new features coming to Elementor version 4. In my opinion, they really need to work and improve the workflow regarding the general and style tabs in the Elementor version 4 elements, because right now when you open a tab and you open then a next one, they stay all open and this can quickly become overwhelming. But most of all, I would love a search bar to be able to type and search for the settings they want to edit. This can be a huge time saver. Let me know if you agree with me and if you have any other comment about the future of Elementor and Elementor version 4. Let me know in the comment section below. My name is Pascal and I'm the creator of WP Roads, the YouTube channel and website where I share with you my passion and knowledge about WordPress. So make sure to click on one of the videos that you see here right now if you want to stay on my channel, and thanks in advance for the thumbs up and for the subscription. Ciao, ciao!